What's up, everybody, and welcome back to another movie review. I'm Chase Lee, reviewing for DallasMovieScreenings.com, and the movie I want to take a look at right now is The Kill Team. Now, this one comes from A24. It is written and directed by Dan Krause, and this one tells the story of Nat Wolff, who is a soldier who just joined the Army, and he is sentenced out to the Middle East, where his platoon is at. So he's trying to be buddies with everyone in the platoon, feel like he's a part of something, and is a part of a group of fellow soldiers ready to fight the freedom of America and do what soldiers do. And so he's ready to do it. And they're on a mission to go to specific villages around the area to find out who's been making bombs that have been planted in the ground and been killing a lot of American soldiers over the past 12 months. And so they just go to the villages, they kind of investigate, ask questions, and do some interrogation stuff, and just be like, hey, do you have any leads on this? Do you know who's been doing this? And so they're at a specific village, and something happens to their sergeant. I'm not going to say what, but something happens, and so the next scene, we get the new sergeant that's going to be over this platoon, and it's played by Alexander Skarsgård. His methods are illegal. He basically tells the platoon, you need to strike fear into these people, get what you want, and even if you have to kill them, so be it. And so they're straight up just murdering people in these villages. And so Nat Wolff is like, this is illegal. What are you doing? And so he contacts his dad and asks, like, what should I do? Because his dad was in the Marines and stuff. So he just kind of calling upon him for advice. And he's just like, oh, yeah, you need to get out of this situation. I'm going to file an investigation with the CID. So there's that. And so Alexander Skarsgård gets wind of the fact that there's a rat in his platoon, ratting them out on specific things. So they go to a couple people and they start, beating them up. And then, he's kind of playing mind games with Nat Wolff because he knows that it was Nat Wolff, but he's, beating up other people to kind of strike fear. It's mind games to him, and it's really frightening to watch. But I'm not going to tell you how it ends. If, people get convicted or get caught or die or whatever. But I will say it is based on a real-life thing that happened in 2010 where a bunch of people in a platoon were ordered by their sergeant to kill people, and they were on trial. So, so I didn't know, first of all, this was a true story. So that's interesting. I like true stories or anything based on true stories, even if they're loosely based. And it's A24. I'm going to watch anything A24. I'm a A24 shill like that. So, I have nothing. I will watch anything they send out. And I didn't see any trailers to this, so I didn't know what to expect. And I watched the movie, and I ended up liking it. I liked it more than I thought I would. I mean, for an 87-minute movie, this is a lean little suspenseful film. It's got some good performances in it and some really well-crafted scenes from a directing standpoint. So I was very, very impressed. So to start with Dan Krause as writer and director, first of all, he actually did the documentary based on this real life thing. So kind of interesting. He did the documentary take on it and a fictionalized take on it. I have not seen the documentary. Like I told you guys, I didn't even know this was a real thing in terms of a scandal and a case that was drawn out in 2010. Unaware. So I'm a dum-dum. I should have paid more attention for sure. But so I can't really judge on what he did in the documentary version. But for the fictionalized version, he is playing with a couple different things. One, you have to make sure the story is pretty much correct. Like, you can't just be flagrantly, like, just throwing out stuff just to make a movie work. You can twist a couple things, like changing some names, maybe like changing some relationships, but for the most part, you have to get the core of the story down, or it's just, basing it on a true story is just not going to even matter at that point. It's going to be so watered down, and so you have to stay true to the story, and you have to make a fictionalized movie, which means you have to make it entertaining, you got to make it engaging and stuff, and so he's working with a couple different things here, and I think he nailed everything. I think, making this an 87-minute movie It gets straight to the point, and it plays out everything that we need to know about these soldiers and the case that was brought up against them. It gets straight to the point. I understood everything, and I definitely got the meat of the story all right there, and no filler, which was great. And on an entertainment level, he directs this thing with such ease. It seems like there's a lot of tension that is brewing throughout this entire thing. The fact that he was able to strike fear and anxiety into me while I was watching it, and just seeing this thing, devolve right in front of our eyes, like, it's just, that is the skill of a great director. He knows how to amplify the tension in the scenes, whether it be drawing out conversations or leaving a shot on someone's reaction and just like seeing their reaction instead of seeing, what they're looking at. It's just like there's different methods to kind of build that, and I think he does that, like I said, with such ease. Like I felt this anxiety kind of build up inside of me as I was watching it, because I knew that Nat Wolff was trying to do the right thing, and he's going against like 8 other people, so he's fighting this fight alone, and like, that he's being threatened, and it's mentally breaking him down. So just everything about it, you can just get so invested into what's going on, and the suspense is just, it's really palpable, and that's once again to Dan Krause's kind of direction on this. So it's a really, really tense movie, and he knows how to play it out, and so I really appreciated that on that front. The movie looks good. It looks like it's on an actual like military base and campsite and stuff. So it just once again kind of adds to the realism of it, and the fact that there are people out there in real life that go rogue and do stuff like this. Just once again adds to the experience. And I know a lot of people don't bring this up, but in military movies, one of my biggest complaints is always like sound design, and the way the sound mix is portrayed in these movies, because you need to have the mix of like people running, gun shooting, cars driving. A military movie is very, very active in the audible sense, and so the sound design's good here. It really kind of puts you in the situation at hand and really immerses you into this experience. So I usually like to bring that up in military movies, so I just wanted to bring it up here. So the sound design is very good. The performances, because that's what we're all here for. Nat Wolff and Alexander Skarsgård. Nat Wolff is pretty great in this movie. This is a kid that is so eager to join the army. He's excited. He wants to fight for his country. He wants to do what's right, and hang out with everyone in his platoon. Like he wants to have a good time, and also be a hero that he wants to be. And so he's really optimistic in the beginning, and as the movie kind of progresses, he is mentally breaking down. He even cries in a couple scenes. Like it's just too much, because Alexander Skarsgård, as a sergeant, he's just so fearful. He uses his power and influence to scare the crap out of these people. And as a soldier, you were told to put that wall up and emotionally and be this kind of stoic figure with no emotional baggage. And Nat Wolff does that, but it just gets to a point where like he does break down, and it's really sad to see. It's really painful to watch this man that's trying to do the right thing, but he just gets slammed to the ground mentally, and he can't get back up. He's trying to find the courage to do what's right, but also try to survive this situation. And Nat Wolff just does a great job as a lead in this movie. Alexander Skarsgård is terrifying, but then again, most of the Skarsgårds can do terrifying characters, which is an interesting trait that they have. But Alexander is really great in this movie. He's mysterious. You don't know how he's going to react. Like, he does explode at certain moments, and that is what's most terrifying, because he'll sit there and talk to you, and he knows what's going on, so he's playing mind games with you. He's trying to be friendly and stuff, but like deep down he wants to like rip this person's face off, and like, it's disgusting behavior, and he's just a gross human being in this movie that gets what he wants. He uses that power and the rank that he's at to kill these people, thinks it's justified, and like, it's just gross behavior. And so Alexander Skarsgård and even Bill and Stella and stuff, like, they have a specific way they like look at people and can get that fear out of you just by looking at you. And that is a gift from the acting gods that these people in this family have, is they can look at you, speak their sentences so far apart and just make you feel uncomfortable, and like they just do it with such ease, and you're like, why are you so good at playing bad? So Skarsgård is very, very good in this movie, and just them in a scene together talking, it's really fascinating, because you don't know, because Nat Wolff is sitting there going, how is this guy going to react? And then like Skarsgård's playing those mind games. It's really great on an acting level. Everyone else in the movie is great as supporting characters. It is what it is, but you're mainly here for the Skarsgård and Wolff show, and I think they did a pretty good job. So a very, very tense movie, filled with so much anxiety, but knowing that at the end of the movie, even though he went through this hell, I'm glad that Wolff stepped up and tried to do the right thing. So a movie about morality and how some people will just not have any morals, and they will just do bad things, and you need those people to stand up and speak up. So yeah, I was pleasantly surprised by this movie. I'm gonna give The Kill Team a B. So let me know down below what you thought of The Kill Team, and that will do it for this review, guys. I'm Chase Lee, and tune in next time for whatever I review next. I will see you guys later.